All right, it's live stream time. Thank you for watching our First Alert live stream on this Wednesday morning. It is 8:33. I almost said 8:32, but then the clock changed in front of my eyes. There you go, 8:33. I'm First Alert Chief Meteorologist Steve Beylon in the First Alert Weather Center. And we've hit the midpoint of the week, and some of the air that we've been feeling this morning is the coldest air this whole week. But looking ahead, our temperatures will be, for the most part, trending up, but there is a little bump in the road for tomorrow. I'll explain what that's all about in just a second. All right, what do you say we start off with a look at our visible satellite loop? We're looking from space down on northeast Wisconsin. A lot of clouds out there, huh? Well, here's the thing. We have different layers of clouds across northeast Wisconsin. And during our newscast this morning, I had posed this question to our buddy Emerson Lehman. I asked him, I said, do you remember the movie Shrek? You know, it came out many years ago. And as it turns out, it's one of his top 10 favorite movies. And he's like, yes, of course. Well, there's that scene where Shrek talks about how ogres are like onions. They have layers. Ogres and onions have layers. Well, sometimes satellite loops also have layers. You see, you're looking at low cloud cover that's been blowing off the bay and off the lakeshore during the pre-dawn hours. Now it's kind of just floating around northeast Wisconsin. But flying over top of that layer of low cloud cover is another layer of high, thin cloud cover. And that's streaming off of a storm system that's developing towards the southern plains. So we've got some low clouds, some high clouds. At times, those clouds will thin out and we will see some sun. In fact, we're seeing some peekaboo sun right now in downtown Green Bay. This is a live view looking to the west. We can call it partly sunny to mostly cloudy. Our temperatures at 39, feels like 33 with an east wind at 8 miles an hour. We're in the 30s. You know, some spots in the north were in the 20s this morning. It was a bit frosty. But right now it's 37 degrees in Oconto, Shawano, Appleton, and Manitowoc, and almost 40 in Sheboygan. You're at 39. So it's noticeably colder now than it was at this time yesterday. Now, when we woke up yesterday morning, we were in the low 60s, and it felt, dare I say, a little humid. I could remember hearing some of our news anchors saying, oh no, my hair. But it's, you know, that's what happens when the humidity hits, right? But here's the thing, it has cooled down quite a bit since then. In fact, over the past 24 hours, our temperatures have dropped 15 to 25 degrees. And earlier this morning, some folks saw a 24-hour temperature drop about 30 degrees. So yes, it's colder this morning. The air's a bit drier. We will have some more mild and seasonable weather this afternoon. I'm aiming for a high of 58 degrees in Green Bay, but it's going to be cooler along the lake shore. We'll have clouds and some sun, then more clouds as we head towards sunset. Now, let's dive into some more detail with First Alert Pinpoint Predictor. And here's a smattering of high temperatures across northeast Wisconsin. A lot of our inland high temperatures will be on either side of 60 degrees. You've got 57 in Pembine, 64 apiece for Wapaka and Watoma, but what sticks out like a sore thumb is the temperatures near the bay shore and the lake shore, upper 40s. Yes, if you didn't know by now, it is cooler by the lake shore season. And what's really exasperating that situation is the wind. We get an onshore east to southeast wind around 5 to 15 miles an hour. So if you have plans to go up into Door County, maybe you're going up there to visit some family, some friends, or maybe like meteorologist Emily Merce, going to do a school talk up there, hint, hint. Make sure you've got that jacket. It's definitely going to be cooler by the lake. All right, our next weather maker, we got to talk about this. So we're getting a break from the rain today, but it's going to be wet tomorrow, first day of May. Showers at times. The heavier rain is going to be generally to the south of Green Bay as opposed to the north. So here's what's going on. Remember those layers of clouds? Well, this is our satellite view across Wisconsin. The high cloud cover is blowing off of those showers and thunderstorms from the Ozarks down towards the southern plains. Low pressure is moving into western Oklahoma, and it's about to track towards the lower Great Lakes. As that storm system gives us a glancing blow between now and the end of Thursday, we're going to have some rain, especially the southeastern half of the state. So let's go into First Alert Pinpoint Predictor. We're going to pick it up 7 o'clock this evening. Notice the clouds thickening across the area. We should be overcast by midnight. Now, we're dry up until the witching hour, but after that, here comes the rain in the pre-dawn hours, and most of it is going to be from Green Bay and to the south. And I would say tomorrow morning is when the heaviest showers are likely to arrive. Moderate rain across east central Wisconsin. Now watch what happens as these showers migrate to the north. Do you see how the intensity seems to wane a little bit? Lighter afternoon showers making their way into the north woods. You see what's happening is that this moisture, as it's riding northward, it's encountering some drier air over upper Michigan, over Lake Superior, and some of that precipitation gets gobbled up a little bit. So your rain up towards Highway 8 is not going to be as plentiful compared to folks near and south of Highway 10. And these showers will be diminishing as we head towards Thursday evening as low pressure pulls away from us. So here's an updated look at our rainfall forecast from First Alert Pinpoint Predictor. From the Fox Valley and south and east, you could see 1/4 to 1/2 an inch of rain. That's not too bad. We actually need rain events like that every few days to really keep up that water table and really provide good moisture for our agricultural friends. For folks, though, in the North Woods, it's not going to be nearly as much. You might be lucky to budge 1/10 of an inch. Speaking of our sky conditions, here's a live look from our Sturgeon Bay Skycam. It is partly sunny right now and 35 degrees. And if you look closely at the slips there in the marina, yes, I am actually seeing a few boats out there. They're coming out of winter storage. Now, I point this out because I want you all to know that our forecast for boaters on the water is now returned back to our regular weathercasts. And usually we run this during our full weathercasts right before the First Alert Super 7-day forecast. Today on the water, southeast winds 5 to 15 knots, 1 to 3 foot waves. And you know what? There is a lot more boating and fishing information at our website, WBAY.com/weather. Anything from the winds and waves forecast to water temperatures. And, you know, water temperatures, that's something that a lot of people really care about. I know that our Emily Beyer, she was keeping an eye on the water temperatures out towards the Wolf River because that has a big impact on the sturgeon spawning season, which is underway. All right, so again, a lot of good weather information for marine interests at WBAY.com/weather. So there is our First Alert Super 7-day forecast. Today, a variable sky, a mix of sun and clouds, a high of 58, but cooler along the lakeshore. You know what? If you don't have to go to work today, you know what might be a good idea? How about taking in some baseball? You see, the T-Rats, they have got a homestand all the way through the weekend. They've got a whole slew of games against the West Michigan Whitecaps. The first pitch, it's an afternoon game, 12:10. Temperatures will be rising through the 50s. We'll see partly sunny skies. Now, tomorrow's game in the evening, well, the rain is probably going to be winding down, but it's probably still going to be wet. It's going to be a breezy and damp day tomorrow with periods of rain, a high temperature of 51, mid-50s with fewer showers on Friday, mostly cloudy skies. And the weekend, well, it's looking dry. I suspect we'll have some lingering clouds Saturday, but eventually we'll have boatloads of sunshine as we go into Sunday. And with increasing doses of sun and the return of a southwest breeze, our temperatures will respond. We'll make our way into the low 60s Saturday, upper 60s on Sunday, and our highs will be very close to 70 early next week. I did bring down those high temperatures a little bit early next week. I do have some concerns. There might be a cool front that kind of stunts the warm up a little bit next week. But in general, our high temperatures will be at and above average. And not just for the next 7 days, the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. This takes you all the way out to beyond Mother's Day. May 13th calls for a high probability of warmer than normal weather across Wisconsin, the western Great Lakes. So if you like 60s and 70s, I think you're going to be pretty happy with the first half of May. It's just the very first couple days. It is going to be cool with highs in the 50s, and we will have some rain coming in tomorrow with, again, a smaller rain chance as we go into Friday. All right, so hopefully that satisfied your thirst for all the weather information you need to know about today and beyond. And you know what? Our team of meteorologists are working on that forecast. Emily is doing some work over by my right shoulder. I saw Keith Gibson walk in. There he is. There's Keith. He's smiling. He's yeah, go ahead. Say hi, Keith.
Hey, everybody.
Keith just stopped in. Knowing Keith, he's going to go through the latest computer model data and start putting together his forecast. Keith's got Action 2 News at noon for weather, and Emily is going to do Action 2 News at 4. And Aisha Morales is also working on the news stories that are coming up on Action 2 News mid-morning at 9 o'clock. So we're all busy as bees here in the Weather Center, making sure we're serving you and your family with the very latest news, weather, traffic, and sometimes sports, and sometimes views of a seagull nest down in downtown Appleton. So we'll continue to see what's going on with our Nest Cam, our Squawky Cam down in the Fox Cities. Thank you for watching our live stream. Hopefully you're having a good Wednesday. And you know what? You're halfway through the work week. The other half is coming up quick. Before you know it, the weekend will be here, and we're going to have some pretty decent weather. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day. We'll catch you tomorrow. See ya.